Hi, this is Mary Lauren Buckman. I'm the author of the Dressing Table Cookbook, and it's very special to me. And I know there's this little story that goes with it, and I know that you'll really enjoy it. And I hope that you can get one, because I know you'll really enjoy it, you and your family. This recipe that I'm about to do today is not in my cookbook. It's going to be in my next cookbook, and it's a family recipe. And it's a family recipe about cooking a turkey. And I was a young girl when my mother taught me how to do this. But as the years have went by, I have tweaked it a little bit to make it my own. But this is how my mother taught me. Like I said, I have tweaked it to make it my own recipe. And this is a foolproof turkey, wonderful turkey recipe. Now what I have done is I put a turkey, of course, in my thawed, and then I patted dry. I took out the giblets. I patted it very dry. Now, I did not truss it. When I was a young girl, a young woman, I didn't even know what trussing was till I went to cooking school in my mid-20s. So, this is how I've always done it. I've never trussed it. It's always turned out perfect. Now, my tweak is, my mother would just use salt and pepper. But my tweak is I like to take an orange, cut it up into 4 sections, and just put it inside the cavity. Stick it up there. Then what I like to do, now very clean hands, I'm going to wash them, just rinse them off. I just sanitized them, I'm going to do it again. Now if you do use your hands as a tool for cooking, make sure that they're very clean and no rings. Very important, no rings. Now what I do is I take 2 tablespoons of olive oil and I drizzle over the turkey, including the wings. I just give it a quick rub. Get it all in there. Even the wings. Don't forget about the little wings. I have a clean towel. Then I have, in this cup, I have a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of basil, a teaspoon of thyme, and a teaspoon of herbs of Provence. And what I do is I just rain it all over the turkey. Now I made this particular turkey for my son when he was 2 years old for his birthday party. And one of the guests still to this day talk about how wonderful he thought this turkey was. It was a very lasting impression. It's a very good turkey. Okay, now I'm going to do something that's going to be kind of tricky, but this is how I do it, and it always works. I take a pillowcase. Now you can take this is a 100% organic pillowcase. I have washed it in laundry detergent with no dyes, no smells, no anything. Hypoallergenic laundry detergent. And I dried it in the dryer. And then if you want to, you can just buy a 100% cotton sheet and do the same thing. And just make sure it's very clean. Now this was my mother. This is how my mother always did her turkeys for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And this is how she taught me. She didn't put in the orange, she didn't put on the olive oil, she didn't put on the spices. That's what I learned how to do. But this is what she did. My mother would take a turkey, dried turkey, giblets out, put it in a roasting pan. Then she would take her pillowcase, flat sheet. I mean, you could have a fitted sheet and cut it out. But what she would do is she would lay this over the turkey, and she would tuck it in under the rack. So you have a very secure cloth. It's underneath the rack, and you make sure it's underneath the rack throughout the turkey. Tuck it in, like you're kind of making a bed. You just keep it tucked in. Now what she would do, clean hands, no rings, but she would take vegetable shortening. And she would just slather this on the turkey. and she would just try to go with the silhouette of the turkey. She would just massage it. She would just get that Crisco, get the vegetable shortening, which I am using Crisco in here. I have about a cup of Crisco. And I'm just really, now I tried this with butter, and I tried to do this procedure with olive oil on top of the cloth, and it gets in the air, I don't know why, but my eyes burn. So that's why I think she always used shortening, because it never got into the air while it was baking. But butter, and then they also smoke. That's what I think that gets in the air, is the smoke. Remember, your sheet is all tucked in. You just want to keep rubbing it. Almost like you're massaging the turkey, but you're doing it through a cloth, and you want to keep your linen tucked down. You don't want any hanging out of the pan. You want it all tucked in, kind of in the rack, like you're making a bed. This is how you want it to be. No overhang, no out of the roasting pan, no anything. I'm gonna wash my hands. I wanted my husband to take a picture of this to show you that all around the turkey, it is tucked in. It is under the turkey. There is no linen hanging out of my roasting pan or even near the edge of my roasting pan. Also, another note, whenever you cook a turkey, anything, always put it in a clean oven. And when you put the roaster in the oven with the turkey, you don't want it, of course, touching any elements. Now, my mother, like I said, she wouldn't do the spices that I put on it. She wouldn't do the orange or the olive oil. She just did the turkey, pat it dry, put the sheet over it, or a pillowcase, or whatever you have. And then this is about 2 tablespoons of salt. And she would just salt the sheet, just salt it. Just keep on salting it. Because she said you really can never use too much. And she said it's very important to make it heavy. Okay. Then I used she used pepper. She didn't use cracked black pepper, but that's what I have. She used just regular pepper. Then you should put her pepper in. One. Now, what this is going to do is this is going to be, I'm surprised they never invented one of these, but what this is a basting cloth, really, is what you're making. The turkey is going to keep basting because the shortening, the salt and pepper is going to go into the fibers of the linen. It is going to continue to moisten this turkey. It is continuing basting this turkey. This turkey, you're not going to believe how incredible it's going to look when it's done. And I bake it at 350, and I'm going to check it in about an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours, because it's a very small turkey, and I want to start taking its temperature about every 15 minutes. I want to get it to at least 160, 162, because when I take it out and let it rest, it's going to go to 165. So right now, I'm just going to put the turkey in a 350-degree oven and just let it go. One more note. I have the ends of the orange that I cut the ends of the orange before I quartered it, and what I do, as I move this back, is I put the orange in my garbage disposal. And the orange will act as an air freshener for my whole kitchen. Now I do this with oranges, lemons. After I squeeze a lemon, I put the lemons in here, turn on the garbage disposal lines. Anything citrus works really good. I can smell the orange right now in my kitchen. It smells lovely. So I'm just going to bake my turkey now, and we'll come back when it's done. Thank you. Hi, this is Mary Loren Buckman, and I'm here to check our turkey. I took the turkey out of the oven. It has been cooking in this this basting cloth, and you can see all the salt and all the pepper and everything on it, because it's just been constantly seasoning this turkey constantly. And then I'm going to take off the cloth. I'm going to use a pair of tongs, and we're going to see what it looks like. Now, you want to get this to be 160, between 160 and 165. Now let's look at this turkey. Now you tucked it underneath, so be careful when you pull it undone. Be very careful. Look at this turkey. Oh my gosh, look at this gorgeous turkey. It has been constantly basting. I'm going to take the turkey out of the pan and put it on a platter so we can rest while I'm making the gravy. Here I am, I'm back. I have everything I'm going to put out for the gravy, and all I'm doing is just doing the juice that was in the bottom of the pan to make the gravy with. This is our turkey. It's so brown and it looks just so delicious, and I know it's going to be good. This reminds me of pho, the orange, the spices. It also reminds me of my mother, and so I really enjoy making this. And what I do is I just take a half a cup of flour, I just put it in my pan, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it. I'm just going to keep stirring it with a wire whisk. And then that way it all gets incorporated. But you just need to keep going. You need to keep stirring. We have the flour totally stirred into the drippings, into the juice. And I'm going to slowly pour in my cup of milk as I'm whisking. I want to get it in here real good. Oh, this looks luscious. I can see the spices coming through. I can smell the little hint of the orange. Oh, this is just heaven. Heaven. My mom, after dinner, she would take pieces of bread and put butter on them and put gravy over them and call that her dessert. That's what her dessert was. Now what I'm going to do is I have a tablespoon of salt. I'm not going to use it all. I'm just going to use a little bit. Maybe about a teaspoon and a half I used. And then I'm going to get in some black pepper. Crack in some black pepper. And then what I'm going to do to finish it is I'm going to put a quarter pound of butter, which is a half a stick of butter, and I sliced it. I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to let that just melt in. Oh, this gravy looks so good. It looks just like heaven. And I am making the gravy on medium low. And it just looks incredible. Just absolutely incredible. So we're just stirring the butter in. Now what I always do is I always have to taste the turkey in the gravy to see how it is, of course. I have a little piece of turkey on a plate. I always have to taste it before my guests taste it. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the gravy and pour it over the turkey. And I am going to taste it. This is delicious. This is so good. All my spices are here in the gravy. The seasoning is perfect. The turkey is perfect. It is so moist. It is so moist. This turkey is such a winner. It's been a winner since I can remember as a young girl. And the cloth has made it crispy on the outside. Very tender, almost fall off the bone tender. Very moist inside. Very, very moist. And I know there's a million ways to cook a turkey. You know, they ask you to put broth on the bottom, and that to me steams it. They teach you to do this and that and everything else. This is such a good recipe. And if you do use the cloth, make sure it's 100% organic cotton, and wash it before. and to be very safe with the oven, make sure it's all tucked down. But I just want to thank you, and I just want to say thank you very much. My book is available. This recipe is going to happen to be in the next book, so you guys got like a sneak preview of the next book, which is going to have the dressing and the whole dinner in it. But I know you would enjoy this book. I just want to thank you for watching my cooking demonstrations. I really enjoy doing this, and food is such a love language. I just want to say thank you. And this is going to be our Sunday dinner. And I'm making classic mashed potatoes, which is in the book. And I also made the broccoli and cheese. So this is going to be our Sunday dinner. Enjoy your Sunday dinner, and thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good evening. The dressing table. Thank you. Bye-bye.